Hey, everybody. Welcome to the bottom line. I'm Michael Noland, the man, the myth, the legend. Or at least that's what Royce calls me, Royce Eddings. And who am I to argue with such a scholar and a gentleman? Tonight is Tribal Forum number 78, where we ask, is Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant rock and roll's one last remaining saving grace? By that, I mean we nowadays are inundated with singers who used to have some of the greatest pipes in the music industry, and they're out there touring, providing us with some of the sourest vocal deliveries of all time, nay, in the history of rock and roll for some of them. Paul McCartney's voice is absolutely shot, and it seems to get worse with every single show at this current tour that he's doing right now. The Eagles' Don Henley's voice is so bad that he lip syncs. Foreigner's Kelly Hansen's voice is so shot that he's had to retire. And now they have a brand new singer in Luis Maldonado to continue help the band to pretend to be the band that they're not. Motley Fool's Vince Neil hasn't sounded good in decades, if indeed he ever sounded good to begin with. John Bon Jovi's voice is a shadow of what it was, and Elton John has lost the range, the upper range in his vocals, that his songs, that those wonderful songs, especially the ones he wrote with Bernie Taupin, absolutely demand. Paul Stanley of Kiss, who was never one of the greatest singers of rock and roll, in my humble opinion, but his latest outings have shown us that, we yearn for days of yore, don't we? Roger Waters can't even croak out the easiest of his tunes these days, and it makes you wish that you had gone to a John Bon Jovi concert instead. Bob Dylan, who was never a great vocalist to begin with, nowadays makes his singing voice from yesteryear sound like melodies from heaven. And then there's always the Rusty Axel of rock and roll. That's right, Rusty Axel Rose. Now, I know a lot of you love him, as many of you love these vocalists up here. I love many of these vocalists, and many pundits have written about his 2.5 octave range and everything, and all I hear when I hear Axl Rose is a tone knob gone mad with I, right? And nowadays, it's that with, of course, a lot of static. So tonight we're going to be comparing these vocalists with Robert Plant. Now, why would we do that? Robert Plant's vocal capabilities are nowhere near what they were in his prime. What makes him stand out? It's interesting with this new album, Saving Grace, is really Robert going right back to the beginning of his career, or at least his professional career, with Led Zeppelin, if you think about it. How did they start? Led Zeppelin 1 is chock full of old blues classics, either disguised or thinly disguised, and even claimed by Led Zeppelin to have been written by Led Zeppelin. So Robert has gone back to that approach, only this time we're getting full credit or accreditation to the actual writers of the song, if it's at all possible. Now, that means Robert hasn't written any new material for the album, but that's not entirely true. Kinda, sorta. You see, he's helped arrange a couple of traditional songs here. I read 3 of them. He receives songwriting credit as an arranger. Okay, it's kind of a side kind of claim. But besides those 3 tracks, he's not going to get a lot of money as a songwriter on this album. I've been slow to get into this album. At first I loved it, and then I go, yeah, but would I listen to it? Okay, and then I started listening to Raising Sand, and I hadn't got that one yet. So which one do I get first? So do I put his new Saving Grace on the back burner? Then I started listening to it again, and I'm going, this is very, this is a music I can meditate to. This is a music that would sound good if I'm doing light chores around the house. This is a music that is all purpose. And usually I'm not a big fan of cover albums. And if you really get down to the bare bones, this is a covers album. So why am I so excited about it? Well, part of it is the dynamics. First of all, the songs are all top notch. Okay, all of them. There was a couple I wasn't sure about. And the more I listened to the album, see, this is why it's so important to listen to an entire album in its entirety. They fit in and you start liking them. Not only is he approaching songs in a fashion that Led Zeppelin did. In other words, they were going to interpret it. Of course, that would be Led Zeppelin. Now he's working with other musicians, other instruments, but other than that difference, he's pretty much doing what Led Zeppelin did at the beginning. So here is a man that's supplying us brand new material, doing exactly what he got famous for, him and three other lads, right? And doing it extremely well. I still don't know if I'm going to call it a masterpiece, but if you go, to me, if you were going to give stars, a great album is 4 stars. A masterpiece is 5. It's certainly a 4-star album. Once I got past my prejudices regarding it being reworkings of old songs by blues greats and everything else. I'll give you an example. Chevrolet was written by Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie, who wrote When the Levee Breaks. Now, Donovan did this song before, and he called it Hey Jip. All right? It's not called Chevrolet. Same lyrics, pretty much, as what Robert does here. And Robert has got, see, first of all, like I said, a very Led Zeppelin approach to this. When you listen to Hey Jip, I got to tell you, between those two, I never heard Hey Jip. I'm a major Donovan fan. He was the last concert we ever went to, right? I just saw him a few years ago in San Francisco. I love Donovan. And I got to tell you, if you compare the two cuts, I'd take Donovan's. However, within the confines of this album, this equals Donovan's version of it. But if you just heard them separately, I'm gravitated to the Donovan version. The next cut up was As I Roved Out. Here's the other thing. With that first cut and this one, there is a staggered military snare work on both of these songs that give it, and then add that banjo, and then what visions do you come up with? What time period? 1865, perhaps? Right? Do you find yourself when you're listening to a lot of these songs? I know, but that's what I hear. You know, I'm a bit of a history buff. Nothing like what Rachel is over on Rachel's Ghost, or what used to be Rachel's Ghost. She's a major, kind of, I call her an expert choking smoker, only she doesn't choke on her smoker. But she's real smart regarding history. But I know a bit of history and everything. And this brings me back to that, right? Both songs. It's a Beautiful Day. Now, that's by Bob Masley of Moby Grape. And Moby Grape is one of those bands I only am aware of really one good album by them. So I didn't know this. I had to go over and listen to it. It's good. It's Moby Grape. It's good. But it's a much more baritone delivery. And I think Robert Plant's more tenor delivery serviced the song a little bit better. The next one, oh my God, this has got to be one of the one of maybe 3 or 4 songs on this album that are tied for first place. Soul of a Man by Blind Willie Johnson. Not only one of the best tracks, but written by the same man who, of course, wrote In My Time of Dying and Nobody's Fault But Mine. And all I can say, I love these lyrics. Won't somebody tell me what the soul of a man? Oh, man. I'm telling you, I'm hearing a lot of plow work. I'm hearing a lot of 1865 tensions on this album. The beat down man. And with things the way they are in modern politics these days, this album sounds very contemporary somehow to me.